Support for Radio Friends comes from Homestead Senior Care, providing trustworthy, kind-hearted senior home care services in your loved one's home. All caregivers are thoroughly screened, extensively trained, professional, and reliable. Homestead is all about providing the highest quality home care service to fit you and your family's needs. Plus, if you would be interested in becoming a caregiver, they offer great part-time positions. Give them a call at 573-442-4333 or check it out at homestead.com.
Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Thursday, December the 7th, Pearl Harbor Day. Mel Zelenak is with us. Good to have you here, our consumer travel tip and money expert. Always a pleasure to have you, Mel. You wanted to touch on something today?
Right. Unfortunately, there's an update on the fiduciary rule that's been developed by the Department of Labor. It's supposed to take effect January of this year in about a month.
2017.
2018. Yeah. But unfortunately, I think unfortunately, it's been delayed 18 months now. So now it's not going to take effect until July 1st of 2019.
If it ever does take effect.
And that's the next point. I'm even wondering now, they'll probably revise the rule somewhat, and I'm wondering if it's really going to take effect. That's the bad news. And you know, I've talked on both TV and radio, and what I've said in my classrooms for the last 30 years, that consumers can easily protect themselves with all their retirements investments and their non-retirement investments by using the services of a fee-only financial planner. Mm-hmm. And I want to stress that almost more now than any time in the past. I have felt for as long as I've been teaching this, that this is probably the one area where consumers can save the most money out of any of their investments or anything that they buy, really, is to avoid financial planners unless they are fee only. And then the question is, do you really need a fee-only financial planner? And some people don't. And if you go with an index fund, for example, the one I always promote because I believe in it is Vanguard. They have the lowest fees. And a lot of people don't know the difference between fee-based and fee-only. Do you remember what that difference is, Paul?
With fee-only, is that where you are, that would be the fiduciary rule,
exactly.
Right? You're paying someone to take care of your investments, looking out for you first.
You and you only.
Fee-based is when you're paying a fee on the investment that you have, but not necessarily looking out for you.
Well, but the difference is you're paying a fee on fee-based, okay? So a lot of people think, oh, therefore they're fiduciary, and they're not, okay? Fee-based simply means you're paying them a fee, plus you're paying some kind of commission on top of that, and very often it's not clearly disclosed. Now, the good news is in all of this, I think, is that let's start looking out for ourselves, not rely on the government and so forth, and simply either explore an index fund or something having to do with Vanguard or one of the other low-fee services that are offered.
What's the book you're always promoting?
The one I always promote, the one I used in my classes, was the smartest investment book you'll ever read.
And it's available at the public library.
On audio. It's
available on audio?
Audio only. I can't find it over there anymore.
Well, you ought to lend them some of your copies. So
I have one left, as you know. But anyway, this is one I clearly recommend.
Okay, it's called The Smartest Investment Book You'll Ever Read.
And then the Tony Robbins book.
Okay.
It says essentially the same thing. The Solon book, The Smartest Investment Book You'll Ever Read by Solon.
Okay, Mel, we're down to about 3 minutes here now.
Okay. Let me see. Let's finish up then and talk a little bit more about this. And Jack Bogle, who is the founder of Vanguard Funds, talked in a recent AARP magazine. It was the August-September issue. And I'm just going to quote him here. And he said, for example, if you have a return on your investment of 7%, but the managers and Wall Street take 2% of that, which would be actually fairly low, you'll make 5%. You'll lose 2% over the years, and your earnings, you won't accumulate any earnings on that 2% if you're following that. Bottom line is, out of the 100% that you would have made, you're taking all the risk over a lifetime. You would get 33% of that return. The rest of it would be gone. So you're taking all the risk, you're getting 33% return. He says a low-cost index fund will give you 99% of your return.
Okay, and this was in AARP.
This was in AARP, the August-September issue. Page 44 is where it starts.
Okay, all right.
And let's pick up a little bit on fun stuff, and that has to do with travel, if we have the time.
We're going to need to move along here.
Okay. We talked about checking websites for airfare, and we talked about cruises and so forth last time. With a cruise, the best thing to do to find a preliminary idea of what it will cost you is go to a website called vacationstogo.com.
Vacationstogo.com.
Yes, and by the way, anybody can email me, melscruises@charter.net, and I can send them information on the best travel websites in my view, and also information on a fiduciary statement that's been put out by the Fiduciary Standard Organization. It's www.thefiduciarystandard.org. And there's a statement here that's very easy to follow, very easy to understand, that you want to have your financial planner sign. And if they won't sign it, then they're not going to be a fee-only financial planner, and I would tend to avoid them. I certainly would.
Okay. All right. So in a nutshell, we're going into the end of the year as far as travel goes. What do you see for 2018? 30 seconds or less.
Okay, 30 seconds or less. There's always good buys out there. I always suggest that you put yourself in the seller's position when you're negotiating, okay? And so you're thinking in terms of supply and demand. Now, if final payment is due on a cruise, for example, 60 days out, guess what's going to happen on day 59?
It's going to go down.
It's going to go down on some of the cruises, and as long as you have some flexibility, that would be a great time to start watching these times and dates.
And maybe you can switch your date and end up saving hundreds or thousands
of dollars. And the last point is, or you can book it as soon as the cruise information comes out, which is about 18 months out. Put down a small down payment and then just watch that cruise and see if the prices go up or down.
All right, Mel, thank you so much for coming by. It is always a pleasure to have you here. We'll see you next time, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to you. Thanks, Paul.
Tomorrow, Central Missouri Stop Human Trafficking Coalition. See you then. Bye-bye.